Good evening, everyone. I apologize. It wanted an authentication code, and I was like, I don't know how to get that. So I had to call Matt, and Matt helped me out. So I apologize.
No worries.
And it's good to see everybody. Happy fall.
Indeed.
So can I call it to order? All right, 6:02. I'm going to call this meeting of the Human Relations Commission to order. Gina, can we get roll call?
Miriam, Allison,
Here.
Greg, Robin,
Present.
Jamie,
Here.
Keith,
Here.
Eileen.
And Greg
Eileen.
just showed up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Did we have any business from the public? Great. And has everyone had the opportunity to review the minutes from the last meeting?
I have, and I make a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting, which was in July, right? Sorry.
Yep.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All
Aye.
right. And now we'll move on to scheduled business, which is we have the land acknowledgement recommendation to City Council.
One
So-
second. Keith, can I just ask, did Greg approve the minutes?
Greg, did you vote to approve the minutes? You can just give us a thumbs up. Okay. It looks like he gave us a thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so land acknowledgement. So I sent some materials for everyone to review, a couple different sources if you were interested in working on the land acknowledgement. And I reached out to the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde, and I have not heard back from them yet. But we're still able to move forward with drafting our own land acknowledgement. I also met with Peter last week and told him that this would be forthcoming from the commission.
Keith, were you involving any of us who were interested?
Yeah, so I was waiting to see if the tribes had any representative that they wanted to include,
Okay.
but I haven't heard back from them. So
Okay.
I was hoping, since we had no meeting last month, that they might have hopped in, but they haven't yet. But we're still able to move forward since there are published guidelines on how to write one ourselves. So I will reach back out to everyone who has emailed those recommendations. We'll work on drafting something together. And then our next item was the in-person commission work session. And I believe, were you working on that, Kim?
I was. So I had sent out a doodle poll, and we didn't have much participation in the doodle poll, and then we didn't have the meeting in September. So I figured, you know what, this is a good conversation for us to have right now and figure out. We had hoped to add an additional day, but I know that schedules are busy. So I'll propose to see, do we just do an extended one in October? Because theoretically the day is already on calendars. And just say we're going to have 2 hours, we're going to do it in person, and kind of do it that way instead of trying to add an additional date. I don't know if we're I don't know if we would be successful.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Would that
I
be
like
a-
that idea.
Kim, would that be would that a 6 to 8 p.m. sort of meeting?
If that will work for you, I can make it work on our end. Okay, so that would be 6 to 8. How silly of me that I don't have the 1, 2, 3, October 24th.
Great.
I'll go ahead and
then-
get the reservation in. So we'll meet at City Hall, probably in the Kalapuya room. And we will have a virtual option still available if folks want to come virtually. But I know that the hope was to have it in person. So we'll go from there.
Great. Thank you for arranging that.
No problem.
And then our next item was the HRC name change recommendations. So I heard from Counselor, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name. I call her Jackie Montague. So Counselor Montague reached out to me and asked what was going on with this. So I believe what we had proposed originally when I made the presentation to council was that we would have a joint meeting with council. And I think they thought we would just come up with something ourselves. So I think there was some confusion there. So I think that's something that we can take up at that in-person meeting next month to come up with a few suggestions and get those back to council.
Tina, do you still have the list of some of those that we came up with when we first discussed it?
It would be in the minutes if
Mhm.
if
Okay.
it did.
Cool.
So I can go back and look at those.
I know diversity, equity, and inclusion was there. I just forget the other one. I think there were only 2. Keith, do you remember?
I think Human Rights Commission was one that was brought up.
Yes. Yes.
If we're able to, I think, send that out in advance of the work session, just so folks are aware of what has already, folks who may not be tracking. That would probably be
Okay.
helpful just to kind of expedite the amount of time that we spend.
Okay. Awesome. And then any project updates from anyone? Great. And then I know we had the walk and roll. Do you have an update on event debrief for that one?
I attended. It was awesome. It was a small group, but it was really nice, and I think a good model for. I mean, gosh, we got so many great parks in the city and places to do these sorts of things. I would love to see more people from all walks getting out in the parks and maybe with a naturalist or something and spending time in nature and together and the importance of that and stuff. So yeah, I thought it was really good. I really appreciate Greg organizing that.
Yeah, I had a great time. I had a great time and meeting Kim and for the first time and her lovely family and hanging out with Robin and Amy, right? We just had a blast with my family. It was a really cool thing. I would like to do it again. It was a lot of fun and maybe another park. And like Robin said, a naturalist would be wonderful because he was kind of our pseudo naturalist, and so he was kind of showing us around. So actually, we had a really good time, and so we'd like to do it again for another project.
Who was taking the lead on identifying plants?
I
Robin
was.
was.
Oh, Robin. Okay.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah,
She.
I believe Robin uses she, her pronouns.
I do.
Additionally, Counselor Smith also was in attendance. So she came on out, and it was lovely to see one of our council members there as well.
Really was. Does the parks have one of those people?
Sure. We have a natural resource specialist. We do. And Jay is a gem. And so that could be something that that I could certainly see if he's available to come on out as well.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be great.
Great.
So yeah, let us know. I can even reach out to Jay and see if there's any park in particular that he would be very excited about the natural elements of it. Potentially on my brain, I'm thinking East Thornton Lake, but there's not a parking lot up there. One day there will be development. We'll figure out how to make that happen up there. But we have some really cool ancient, and I do say ancient, like historic apple trees up there from varieties that they thought were extinct. And so that could potentially be something fun to, and it's an off beaten path area. So I'll check with Jay.
Great connection to diversity. Right? Biodiversity is critical to our survival.
Yeah.
Really?
Awesome. And then I can't think if there were any other events that happened.
I
Other
have
than
one
the-
for potential event involvement. And Kim, this is just, I wanted to loop back with you from our last meeting when we were talking about Festival Latino and discussing like where there might be an opportunity to dovetail with Summer Sounds. I attended the HAC meeting today and let them know that we had discussed that in this meeting. And so somebody from HAC might be reaching out to you. But I think, you know, when we last talked, you said that there's an application process and that you would look into some more details. And so anything you can share would be helpful so we can get it back to the HAC.
Certainly. We have on our website, there's a link to provide some information. And so I can provide that to you. I can provide that to Millie. Yes, please spread the word, as we would love. Yes, we'd love to get some additional folks that we know how much they charge, what their space needs are, and then be able to work through that. So yes, please.
Yeah, I know they have something scheduled for September of next year, but they're talking about how it'd be a really great opportunity if there is a Latina performing group, right, to be able to do some promotion then for the festival in September.
Great. Great. Are there any updates from members of the commission that you'd like to provide? Yes, Robin.
Yeah, so I don't know if the commission is entirely aware, but I am on the Community Development Commission. I'm actually the chair of that commission. And I've been remiss in, because one of my roles is to represent this body and our interests on that commission as well. So I wanted to just throw that out to y'all and let you know that we just held an evening meeting that was open to the public and had some of the public attend. That was really great. But the role of the commission, of course, is community development matters around particularly folks who are underserved in the community for things like preventing homelessness, affordable housing. Right now, this fall and into early next year, we're going through the agency presentations where various agencies come and talk to us. And these have been agencies that have received funding from the commission and from the council in the past. Some of them are new and maybe asking for some help in that regard. So we use these funds, these CDGB funds that come as, from the federal government to do those sorts of activities. So certainly we'll field in, certainly able to field any questions that you might have right now, and if not, I invite any of you to come to a meeting or join us on Zoom and learn about what we're doing over there.
Robin, would you be able to share, like, I don't know if you all have the set schedule on which organizations will be joining you for which meetings?
Yeah, I can find that out. It does come out, but generally fairly close to the meeting, like within a week
Yeah.
or two, if I'm not mistaken. But I will see if I can find out if there's more of a longer schedule than that, and share it with the group.
That'd be awesome. And there's a really, I think it's a really good piece of journalism in the Democrat Herald today about one of the journalists who spent an overnight at Marvin's Garden. And I highly recommend people read that. It gets pretty poignant and very connected to that work.
Good.
Yeah, I saw the article. I plan on reading it tonight, hopefully. So it's great.
Great.
Just looking ahead on the list of events that we have on our agenda, at the end of the agenda, there's Mental Illness Awareness Week. Is the city doing anything in particular for that?
I actually do not know. I can ask to see if there's anything planned for that week and send back.
Okay, and then I also see that the annual summit on homelessness is crossed out. Was that canceled or?
I just couldn't find anything regarding it. So I just took it off the list because I could find past events, but no upcoming events.
That may
Does
have been it.
does the consortium take the lead on that, Gina?
I would have to look that up and see. I know it's not the city that takes the lead, but I would have to look up. Maryland used to be pretty involved in that, but I can look it up and get back to you.
Yeah, cool. And then also November's National Runaway Prevention Month too. And there should be some activities coming out with Jackson Street.
I had two things, if possible. One is I just wanted to see if I know our last meeting, Kim, you had introduced a time that those of us who filled out the survey had agreed upon, and that there were two commissioners who unfortunately aren't here today who said that they never received it. I don't know if there's been any resolution on that.
So one of them was Elin, and I sent her the follow-up and it went through.
Mhm.
And I don't remember who the second person was,
Miriam?
but yeah, I
Yeah.
did send out communication again.
Okay, maybe we can put that on the docket for next time, just so we can like wrap it up. If not everyone has been able to take it and but has gotten that opportunity, I think we have to move forward.
And so that
Can I ask, is when I send out the RSVP to send out the reminder to RSVP, is that confusing people that they think that's because I noticed that Miriam declined the RSVP, and I don't know if that was she was trying to say that she wouldn't be at the meeting, but I just send that reminder out so people know to look at it's an Outlook reminder so that they look at their email and then they can respond through the email. But I just didn't know if maybe that wasn't helpful, or if there's another way I could be doing that, but I noticed that Miriam just declined the invite.
I think let's go ahead, Keith. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. It wasn't confusing for me, and I'll follow up with Miriam and see.
I do like the reminder. I definitely like the reminder. Thank you.
Thank you. You've been super helpful, Gina.
Mhm.
And I've communicated to the counselors everyone's attendance. So whatever happens from there is up to them because we are their appointments. So
I had one more thing to add to business. And it, like, there's a part of it that's kind of related to our communications. One is, or the core thing is, yesterday there was a public listening session at the district office, the GAPS office, about a revision to a policy on controversial issues within GAPS. And Gina, I had sent this out to our HRC listserv. I don't know if anyone received it. I know when you ask us to reply all, I don't think that we received those emails if people are replying all. So I don't know if folks got the information on the controversial issues survey.
Did you just send it to me? I thought it went to the whole group.
Great question. Let me take a look here.
So I apologize if I didn't forward it on. For some reason, I thought it went to everybody already.
So I did send it to our commission and to you, but this is why I'm bringing this up, because
Okay.
I don't think we're all receiving those emails when we're sending them out to the Human Relations Commission listserv.
I also have noticed that I don't get any reply alls when we
Yeah.
reply to the "Are you coming?" emails.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything that I got from you this week, Allison. So we'll check with IT.
Yeah, I sent it out on the 21st, but I'm going to forward it again to you, Gina, just because that survey is still open. I think it's open until the 30th. So just a few more days. But I do suggest that people go on the GAPS website and they look at the revision to the document. I think there are some particularly notable parts to it. I went yesterday, and I know one of the school board members suggested that maybe after they take into consideration what came up in the listening session, they may have another one to bring back another draft policy. But highly suggest anyone, whether you have kids in the district or not, you're welcome to take it as a community member. And I do think it's something that's very related to our work.
mhm. Yes. I watched that meeting last night too. And I think they released a draft policy and then it was changed and then presented at the meeting, right?
So there's been a policy that's been in place since 2001, and it's statewide. They're required to do it. And the last one, I think, was revised in maybe 2020. And so the Oregon School Board Association is doing like a policy audit, and GAPS decided to do a revision to this policy. And so on the GAPS website, which I just sent that on to you again, Gina, you can see both the existing policy and the draft policy, as well as there's the link to that survey.
And just to clarify, you're suggesting that there's likely to be one more draft, or they said there might be another draft after this one?
That was a suggestion one of the GAPS school board members had. I don't know that that's going to happen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is everyone okay if we move on to staff updates? All right.
Only thing I have is now we're going to look into IT issues. I apologize. When I go back through on mine, I can see that things go out. And so I thought we had gotten everything squared away, but yeah, it sounds like there's wonkiness there. So we'll look into that and communicate back on that. I apologize.
No worries, it
That's all I
happens.
have.
Also, I'll send out the roster. I just got an email today that they're updating. So if there's any changes, they can make those. So if I send it out to you and you can look at your information, and if it's all correct, we're good to go. But if there's some changes, if you could email me the changes, and then I can forward that on and they can get the rosters done correctly.
Awesome. Thank you.
If we're,
All right.
Kim, if you're bringing up IT stuff, just note that our webpage is not up to date. Miriam is still listed as the vice chair.
I thought
And
I think Miriam
Oh,
is the
is
vice
she?
chair.
Oh, I
Yes.
thought Robin, I thought you were. I apologize. The other thing is we don't have the minutes up on our site for July.
From July, it would have
Yes.
because we have to be approved.
They have to be
Right.
approved before I can.
I'm sorry. I
No.
apologize.
But you're looking at it, so we appreciate that.
Okay, awesome. And then I believe our next meeting, Tuesday, October 24th, is that when Emma Eaton was going to join, or did she push to November?
So the last I had an email from her, I believe today, she was looking to push to November. And so November is one of the dates that we just will need to make sure that everybody is still going to be able to be in attendance, because it's the week of Thanksgiving. And so sometimes that's difficult for folks. But yes, she would like to attend and present at the
Okay.
November date if possible.
Okay, and I think when we went over our annual schedule of meetings, did we opt out of a meeting in November and December?
You opt out of December and you were debating about November.
Okay. Yeah, if meeting the week of Thanksgiving is going to be difficult for staff.
It's not though. It's the following week. We'd be meeting on the 28th, right?
Let me check. Oh, it's the 23rd.
Oh, you're right. Oh my goodness. Sorry, my bad. I
Yeah.
clumped that together. So we shouldn't have any issues.
Okay, great. Yeah, if we don't have any issues with scheduling or people needing time off or taking time they deserve, then sounds good to me. All right, our next meeting will be Tuesday, October 24th. Make sure you get it in your calendars.
In person, 2 hours. We'll see you
Yes. All right. Thank you all. And with that, I will adjourn this meeting at 6:30 p.m. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.